Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosensia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available in print and ebook formats on Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosensia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosensia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Ghost Missing by Mia Mosensia, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 30 podcast platforms. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter today. We can also be heard on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music, and more. Make sure you take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, and more. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/MiaMosensia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also great merchandise like t-shirts, pop sockets, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/MiaMosensia. Also, don't forget to check out the support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific lady who was born and raised in New Jersey, being in the North and being in the South, and previously lived in Arizona and Florida. And she's an author of a new book called Sugar Paper, and she also wrote I Can See the Rainbow Bridge. And the new book is about Kiki Gallo Sippo's journey going from A to Z towards her inescapable destiny. Began as a naive, then the legend, and then the most stand-up lady in the state of New Jersey, and given to her by her godfather and of the largest, most powerful mob in New Jersey. She's met many celebrities and just a tremendous author. Love to talk about the book. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful South Jersey, the amazing author of Sugar Paper, ladies and gentlemen, the very multi-talented Tootsie Gallo Barron. Tootsie, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, it is my pleasure to be here with you guys.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you're born and raised in New Jersey. So you're born in North Jersey, and now you live in South Jersey. In between, you lived in Arizona and Florida. And your new book is about Kiki Gallo Sippo's journey going from A to Z towards her inescapable destiny. We'll talk about that. And, of course, also being the most stand-up lady in the state of New Jersey. And Tootsie, you're also being called the ultimate grandmother of New Jersey as well, too. Let's talk about your book, Sugar Paper. And before again, all that, tell us how you first got started.
Well, I was born and raised, yes, in North Jersey, but specifically in Jersey City, which is the second largest city in New Jersey, second only to Newark. And at the time when I was growing up there, I lived in a predominantly Italian neighborhood, although the city was very multicultural even back then. And some of the guys, I grew up with a lot of wise guys. Some of the young boys that I grew up with ultimately grew up to become wise guys. I happen to have been married to two of them. I call them wise guy number 1 and wise guy number 2.
I love that. Hey, wise guy, come here.
And of course, I was divorced from both of them. And then I nicknamed them wise guy number 1. So when I was referring to them, instead of saying ex-husband number 1, I would say wise guy number 1. He's the father of my children. And wise guy number 2. Sadly, they're both gone. And then I married a third time to my prince, love of my life. He was not a wise guy. Actually, he was an optometrist.
Oh, and, that's pretty wise. I got to say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I went from one extreme to the other. and sadly, he died in my arms almost 13 years ago. I've been a widow. And it was always my desire to become an author. I started writing when I was in grade school, poetry, short little stories. I was always a storyteller. I can also write poetry. I've written a screenplay called Sugar Paper that goes with the book. I will be putting that up for sale in Hollywood next month. And so I can write almost anything. And I just love to write. And I always knew that I would. It was never a question of would I ever do it. It was always a question of when I would have the time in my life to do it. My life, I've lived a very exciting life. I've gone down several different paths, and I never had the time. But after my husband passed away, and after I recovered from his death, I decided, well, now it's time to pick up the pen. And that's exactly what I did. Mm-hmm. And I started writing Sugar Paper. Actually, my children's book, I Can See the Rainbow Bridge, was published shortly before that. Of course, the children's book is so much smaller. Mm-hmm. They wanted to get that one out. And then we did Sugar Paper, and they are in the process, my publishers, right now. I also wrote the sequel to I Can See the Rainbow Bridge, and that is called Will You Be There When I Call to You? That's in production as we speak.
Will you be there when I call to you? Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
Got it. I'm writing it down as we speak, so that sounds very amazing and looking forward to that. But what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into doing what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Well, when I was particularly in high school, my English teacher, she was just marvelous, and she pushed English language. I was in the A class because I always excelled in that subject, and knowing that I loved it so much, and she pushed me. She always wanted us to be writing these short stories. She loved my work even back then. And she kind of pushed me and said, sometime in your life, you should pursue this as a career because you have a knack for it. And I think it was because I just always loved it. And I was in all the A+ English classes. I started out to become an English major, but I had to leave school. And that was I always believed it was my destiny. And particularly to write Sugar Paper because of where I come from and the people that I knew.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And who are some of your favorite writers and authors growing up?
Well, my favorite author, and I modeled my writing skill on hers, believe it or not, is probably someone you never heard of. And that was an author who sadly died way before her time, Grace Metalius. she was a phenomenal writer of a book called Peyton Place.
Peyton Place, okay.
Which was way ahead of its time. I mean, she wrote it in the 50s. I didn't read it until the 60s. It was way ahead of its time. Some places, schools, they wouldn't even allow it in. It was thought to be a little racy for that time. And she was just a phenomenal storyteller, but sadly, she died very young. I do believe it may have been alcohol poisoning.
Wow.
Which made it even sadder.
Mm-hmm.
But sadly, so many of us autistic people do have an addiction to something, and I guess that was hers. But I always loved her style of writing. And I said, when I finally do it someday, I don't want to be just an author. I want to be a storyteller, because that's what she was. That's what I am.
Huh.
I just love to tell a story, and a story turns into a book.
Oh my gosh, I'm certainly looking forward to what you're going to describe as well, too. And, speaking of books, what were some of your other favorite books growing up?
Let's see. Well, I mean, being in an English major class, I had to read a lot of Shakespeare, and I did. But I'm trying to think back now. I did like some mysteries. I was never too much into, although I read some. I love Stephen King back in the day. When I had time to read. Of course, now I don't have much. I don't do any reading anymore, except editing my own work, because that's all I have time for. But yeah, I did like definitely mysteries and little sci-fi. Nothing, but I never wanted to stay. So many authors stay in one genre. Stephen King being one of them, because he writes all that, mostly that frightening stuff, scary stuff. And then there are authors that write love stories only. Some authors write nothing but detective stories, and they're very good. And some write police stories. I never wanted to be stuck in one genre. I always wanted to, I said, when the day comes and I pick up the pen, I want to mix it up. That's why Sugar Paper is, I'm the only woman on the planet to have ever written a totally mobbed up book, which is what Sugar Paper is.
I see.
And of course, I did get the okay to write it. But without the blessing, I would not have written it. And I wrote, like I say, children's books. I write poetry. And I'm working on another novel that's about 80% finished. That's called Into Foreverland. And that's completely different. It's a story about lifelong friendship and a beautiful love story. So I do mix it up. I'm not staying in one genre. I just want to keep mixing it up.
That is amazing, and we're looking forward to talking about your works. We'll talk about I Can See the Rainbow Bridge. We're getting the Sugar Paper in just 1 minute. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Me and Molson Z has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Me and Molson Z, available on Amazon. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and over 30 podcast platforms. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Me and Molson Zia for great books and merchandise and more. Amazon.com/Me and Molson Zia. Also, don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific lady who's an author of the new book, Sugar Paper, which is a book about Kiki Gallo Simple's journey about going from A to Z towards her inescapable destiny here on the Mike Wagner Show. And Tootsie, before we talk about your book, Sugar Paper, you also talked about I Can See the Rainbow Bridge, and maybe just tell us a bit more about that before getting into Sugar Paper.
Well, I wanted to write something for the children about losing a pet.
Oh.
We've all, or any of us that have had a beloved pet, and most households do have pets, whether it be dogs or cats, and many have both. And when one of our pets crosses over, it's heartbreaking. I mean, these are not just pets. These pets become part of our family. Mm-hmm. And I know because I've done it myself. And it just, my Boy Scout, my beloved Papillon. And when he crossed over, it just broke my heart. And I got to thinking, well, if my heart is broken, what do the children feel when they lose their beloved pet? They've got to be hurting like we do. They've got to feel that pet is part of their family as well. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, it must be so hard on the children. And that is why I wrote I Can See the Rainbow Bridge, because I wanted to show the children that when our pets cross over, they do go to a most beautiful place. So they do not have to worry about where their pets have gone. I wanted to ease a little bit of their pain for them. And that is why I wrote it. It's strictly a children's book. And that was my wish. And I was hoping that I would be able to do that for them. Mm-mm. And in the last verse in the book, it was adapted off, actually the publisher loved it so much, it was adapted off of a poem.
Wow.
And as it says it all, as I close my eyes for the very last time, I say to thee, I was a better dog because you loved me. I have arrived at the Rainbow Bridge. What I did is I took the dialogue and I gave it to Boy Scout. I flipped it. This is the only book where Tootsie is Tootsie, and her beloved Boy Scout is Boy Scout. But I don't do the talking in this book. Boy Scout does the talking. And I got to thinking, well, I do believe that it is my belief that if dogs could talk in our language, this is what they would say to us. And that's what the book is.
That's rather interesting. I like that. And of course, you went on from Rainbow Bridge over to Sugar Paper. And let's talk more about the book and about Kiki Gallo Simple's journey going from A to Z. And let's hear more about it.
Well, I've been asked, and I knew I would be asked for the rest of my life once the book was published. How could you, write? How could it be written by a woman? Such a mob. It's mobbed up. How could it be? And it's accurate. It's fiction, but it's accurate. Mm-hmm. Where it has to be accurate, it is. And how could you do it? And I answer simply, and I think this says it all. I sum it up by saying, well, my maiden name is Gallo, Gallo. That's it. That says it all. Need I say any more? Let it go with that. I'm a Gallo.
Is that coming from Wise Guy 1 or Wise Guy 2 or Wise Guy 3, 4, and 5? Which Wise Guy?
Well, no, Gallo is my name. I'm the Gallo.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I'm the Gallo. So when people say, well, how could you write it? Well, that explains it. I'm a Gallo. When you're dealing with that kind of a subject, mobbed up, sometimes a lot of things are better left unsaid. You get my meaning. Even though it is strictly a work of fiction. But I think where I came from and my environment and being around, like I said, I've been around, well, mostly I've been around men most of my life. And, and a lot of them, they were wise guys. So I certainly, I picked up a little bit here and there, and then used my imagination. And the other thing is, I did two other things. In this book, Sugar Paper, which is mobbed up, of course, there's never been a female character. I mean, you could pick up any of the mobbed up books that have been big hits, Goodfellas, all of them, Godfather, all of them. There's no female as a main character. Never. In fact, the only females you ever hear about are their wives who know nothing. They barely mention them, except when it's Sunday dinner table. You might see them. And women are not were never a part of that culture. Never. Because they would never want their wives to know anything. They're not allowed to know anything, the women. And that's for their own protection as well. And they don't know anything. Plain and simple. And, but this has a female. She is not the protagonist. She's not the lead. She is the heroine in the book. And that's never been done. And the other thing I did is I took the 7 main characters and I put a cloaking device on them. So that by the last chapter, when her uncle, he's actually her unofficial godfather, but she calls him uncle. Kiki calls him Uncle Milt. And he promised to tell her the entire story of her life. Because she isn't who you think she is either. Only she doesn't know it. Until the last chapter, when he reveals and I uncloak all 7 characters. Nobody is who you think they are. So that's the other thing I did. It's a bit of a mystery as well.
That's really interesting. And what exactly inspired you to write the book Sugar Paper? What was that one moment that said, I'm going to write about this book?
I think it was when it finally occurred to me that many of the experiences I had my whole life growing up in Jersey City and being around certain people all the time, I just got to the point where I said, it's never been done by a woman. Why not? Let's give it a shot. It's time a woman tells this story. And that's when it hit me. And I said, as soon as you have the time to do it, that's the book you're going to write. You're going to write about the mob because it's never been done by a woman. And when I finished writing the novel and it became published, I got a publisher. I started writing the screenplay immediately. Wow. Because I said to myself, Hollywood is trying to become, or so they say, we're hearing a lot about it, more and more, all the time. We want to become more inclusive. We want more work from women, because let's face it, Hollywood has always been, it's all about the men. It's a man's club. It's a boys' club. It always has been, predominantly. And they're trying to become, as they've been saying, or portraying themselves, well, we want to be more inclusive. We want work from minorities. We want work, especially from women, because they've never been at the top, nowhere near it. We want women directors now. We want to find producers. The only thing women ever were actresses. They want to include them now. And that's what they're saying. So I got to thinking, well, if they want work from women, well, guess what? Since I know that mob movies, aside from Marvel and the kids' movies, when it comes to the adult movies, the mob movies make all the money. I don't have to tell anybody that. It speaks to history has taught us that. So I said, well, they want work from women. Well, how about a mobbed up screenplay movie written by a woman? Now you say you want it. Well, now I'm going to hand it to you on a silver platter. Let's see what you're going to do with it. So next month, I am putting it up for sale. It will be going out to every production company in Hollywood and everywhere else until I find a buyer for Sugar Paper.
Oh, that is so fascinating. I'm looking forward to it, and certainly like to wish you all the best on that one. And of course, we're on mob movies as well, too, that made me think of, like, of course, you got The Godfather, Goodfellas, The Irishman, which one of my favorites as well, too. Which of those movies think is close to Sugar Paper?
Well, not in the words, because, the mob movies, although the Godfather was pretty tame. Goodfellas depicts, I would say, and Casino's in there as well, depicts the wise guys probably most accurately.
Mm-hmm.
Wise guys are wise guys. Some of them are a little less crude than others, but they are who they are. And they're not Boy Scouts. A wise guy is a wise guy, and he's not a Boy Scout by any means. So I would say Goodfellas depicts that world probably most accurately. Now, of course, my book is nothing like that, because being written by a woman, I kept it. Yeah, the story's there. It's mobbed up, but you're not going to see any of that crude language, because they like that word F an awful lot.
Oh yeah, forget about it. Yeah.
Forget about it, and every other word. Well, you're not going to find that in my book. After all, it's written by a woman, and it doesn't call for that. Not from a woman. Are you going to know it's mobbed up? Well, certainly, but I left all of that out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. It's about the mob. And the other thing I did, I took, their biggest money maker has always been bookmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they own that world all over the country, the mob, and it's a multi-billion-dollar a year business, or it was before they put it in all the casinos now. Although I understand it's still going pretty strong. Of course, now they've moved it inside the casinos where you can actually bet on games and sports, sports in the casinos. But still, a lot of people don't want to have to go to a casino to make a bet. So they still pick up a telephone and they call their local bookie to put their bets in. And that's what this story is about. I take you right inside the world of bookmaking, and that's a big, big business. And Kiki is the only female that ever went into that world and went to work for them. But she not only went to work for them, because that's strictly run by men all over the country, but she rose to the very top, and she became not the grandmother. She doesn't have that name. She's called the Legend,
and the most stand-up lady in the state of New Jersey.
Yes, the Godfather gave her that title. The most stand-up lady in the state of New Jersey. That's true. And that's her story. That's where she comes in. She rises for the very top in a world of, listen, these guys don't even trust their wives with their money, yet they trusted their money to Kiki.
Huh. That's rather unusual.
Exactly. So it goes to show you that she was vouched. In order to get that job, she had to have been vouched for by some heavy D's, some very, very influential men, godfathers, or she would have never had that job. And she came that highly vouched. And again, that goes to the fact that she is in fact a Gallo. And they give her the job. She becomes so good at what she does, that they give her carte blanche to move the numbers up and down any way she wants. They trusted her with every aspect of their business, and she made a ton of money for them.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing.
She makes a ton of money for them all over the country, because that's what she does. She moves money for the mob all over the country. And in doing so, in order to do that, she has to go shopping for numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a half a point makes all the difference in the world, could make all the difference in the world, especially in football. A half a point could be the difference between a push, a win, or a loss. And so she's got to go shop for the best numbers she can get for them, whether they're laying the points or whether they're taking them. She's got to go shopping for the best numbers. Well, think about this for a minute. Can anybody really outshop a woman? I mean, we're born with that gene. Mm-hmm. We've got the shopper's gene. So it makes sense that if she had to go shopping for numbers, who's going to be better at it than a woman?
How do you like that? Now I know where my $5 went after betting my last game. I know where it went now. And
she became that good at it that she made a ton of money for them. And that's why they give her those names,
Oh, my goodness. I wonder if Tom Brady is listening on this one. So,
oh, how I would love to meet him. We could have so much fun talking with each other.
Oh,
because going back in the day, of course, Tom wasn't around then. I was back in the time of Joe Namath.
That's right, Broadway Joe. Yes. Oh my gosh, Broadway Joe.
And that's why I chose. I only wanted to talk about one athlete in the book, and I chose Broadway Joe. And the reason I chose him isn't just because he played for one of my local teams, which is the Jets, of course, being in Jersey, but it is because the legendary football coach Bear Bryant, who is probably gone down as the best college coach of all time, he said Joe Namath was the greatest player he ever saw in his entire career. He's the one that vouched for Joe Namath. Said that he was the most natural. He had the most natural ability. Was the greatest player. When he brought him up from Alabama, when he brought him to Alabama from Beaver Falls, he said he was the greatest athlete he had ever seen in his life. Was Joe Namath.
And certainly lived up to his reputation thanks to Super Bowl III, guaranteeing a win over the Baltimore Colts, and that's why he's the greatest. So
absolutely, and brought the Jets their only Super Bowl win.
That's right, yeah.
And like I said, he's a darling man. I've met him, a total gentleman, just a nice man, and a wonderful family man, and but he got the job done for the New York Jets.
That's right. That's the most important thing.
And the other celebrity I wrote about for a totally different reason, I only put two of them in my book, is Newark's very own son, Frankie Valli.
Oh, wow. Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. Amazing.
Because he's in the book because Kiki always knew that she would be asked 5 questions for the rest of her life. And one of the questions was always going to be, well, if you carry the title, the most stand-up lady in the state of New Jersey, then who would you say, you should know, who is the most stand-up man in the state of New Jersey? So I gave that a lot of thought, and I came up with Frankie Valli. And the reason being, and I've questioned many people in Newark, because I know a lot of people from Newark. I was around a lot of people from Newark, which is almost right next door to Jersey City.
Mm-hmm.
And Everyone I questioned, I asked them the same thing. Is it a true story that Frankie Valli assumed that staggering debt that Tommy DeVito laid on them? Did he really assume that debt and pay it back? Tommy DeVito, who was the main man who put the original Four Seasons together.
Uh-huh.
And he did borrow a ton of money, almost $1 million. It said. And Frankie assumed the debt when they kicked him out of the group, and he was sent to Las Vegas, as they say, for his health. He had to get out of town. So much money. And Frankie assumed the debt. And I asked every big wheel I ever knew in Newark if that was a true story. And every one of them said the same thing. Yes, it's a true story. And yes, he paid back all that debt. Frankie Valli did. Therefore, I felt he was entitled to the name, the most stand-up man in the state of New Jersey. He stood up. He paid back every penny.
Wow. That is one heck of a story, and I gotta say that Frankie Valli, wow, that's amazing. And where can we find?
That's in the book as well.
Amazing too. And speaking of book, where can we find Sugar Paper and all your other books at?
Well, Sugar Paper's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can get it on Books a Million. Somebody told me you can even order it through Target. I've been told. So that's where it's at, as far as I know.
Okay. All right. We'll certainly check those out. And what's coming up for author Tootsie Gallo Barron besides Sugar Paper and more? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Z of Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. We'll be back with amazing author Tootsie Gallo Barron of Sugar Paper after this time out.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. Tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back with the amazing author Tootsie Gallo Barron of Sugar Paper here on the Mike Wagner Show. Tootsie, that was a great story. I learned a lot about growing up in Jersey, and also your book about I Can See the Rainbow Bridge, Sugar Paper, and more. And what can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond, Tootsie?
Well, I'm starting off next month. As I mentioned, I'm putting my screenplay up for sale. And hopefully I'm going to be able to sell it, and we're going to turn it into a movie. We're going to turn Sugar Paper into a movie, a mob movie. There hasn't been a good one out about the Italian mob. Now, I'm not talking about the Irishman, in about 25, 30 years. So I'd say we're due for a good mob movie.
And I'm certainly looking forward to it, and I cannot wait. So we're not going to forget about that one. So,
and also, my sequel, my children's book, the sequel to I Can See the Rainbow Bridge, that's in production as we speak. That should be out in a few months. Will you be there when I call to you?
Okay. All right. We're certainly looking forward to that, Tootsie. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
I still say it's Grace Metalius. Like I said, I followed her. I loved her work. I think she would have been larger than life. She was well on her way if she didn't die so tragically at such a young age. I think she would have been formidable and a top rated. Or I mean, think about what she did with only one book. She that Peyton Place. First of all, they turned it into a movie, which became a mega hit. Peyton Place. Maybe not right away, but once it caught on, so much so that some years later they turned that into the first serial nighttime weekly serial. If you can remember back, there was a show called Peyton Place.
I remember that. Yes, I think that was a big hit back then.
Oh, it most certainly was, and that was based on her book. And they also made a movie called Return of Peyton Place, but I'm not sure if she completed that or if she passed away before it was ever completed, and then they finished it. I'm not too sure about that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
she was just absolutely her style of writing. She definitely was my mentor, you might say.
And certainly fascinating as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
The best advice about anything in life is what I would is the way I sign off with everybody. I also have it as a hashtag. I wish you all that heaven allows. So just follow your heart, and that's it. And you'll get it done.
Definitely will do so, and we'll remember those words. Once again, we're with author Tootsie Gallo Barron of Sugar Paper here on the Mike Wagner Show, along with I Can See the Rainbow Bridge. Tootsie, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot from you. Looking forward to having you on soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Looking forward to having you on back. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your books?
Well, yes. My books can be found on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Somebody told me Target. Sugar Paper's out. I Can See the Rainbow Bridge is out. My publisher is right now they're making the sequel. Will you be there when I call to you? And hopefully by about the middle of this year, the novel I'm working on presently, Into Foreverland, will go to the publishers as well.
We're certainly looking forward to it. Once again, Tootsie, a very big thank you for your time. You've been totally amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date. Keep in touch. We'd love to have you back. We wish you all the very best. You've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been my pleasure to have spent this time with you. I would love to do it again. I would love to be a guest on your show again.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.